Is this you? I feel your pain. This video will focus on the solo player's experience. Welcome to the channel, my fellow jabronis. Today I'll showcase particular heroes best for impacting games in a significant way. But I will actually show you why and how they can impact games. This isn't just a simple tier list video. Nah, this is chock full of juicy tips and tricks describing how you can use these characters to carry your team to victory. Now when it comes to strategist, I believe the more DPS healers are best for carrying the team. Like if you can drop 20-30,000 healing plus 10-15,000 damage, you can confidently say,
that shit was not my fault. Y'all are trash. Like y'all are so trash.
But before I go on, I must clarify so I don't get slayed in the comments. Your number one priority is still and always will be to heal, especially to keep your tank alive. So healing comes first. Alright, so when you think of DPS healers, you probably think of Mantis or Cloak and Dagger. Now listen, I know you have heard before, oh, Mantis is amazing, all the top ranks are using her, she's the best healer. But have you heard any actual good tips to why she can carry? Besides the fact that she can deal good damage while healing? But how? You know, why? How can you do that? So I'm going to tell you how she can carry, how her win rate is so high, and why the top ranks use her. So first of all, yeah, she can deal a ton of damage because her primary attack deals 50 damage with no fall off. Okay, that's the big thing here. Up to 125 damage per second with zero fall off range on her attacks. So you can stand behind your tanks and still deal massive damage from across the map. I mean, yeah, you want to be aggressive, but use this range to your advantage. Now secondly, and most importantly, her healing orbs. It's all about efficiency. Yes sir, efficiency. Let me explain. So you heal 55 health on impact, and then 160 health over 8 seconds. So it's an 8-second passive healing. Thing is, if you cast a second or third orb on your ally, it won't stack up on healing, it will simply refresh the 8-second duration. So unless your ally is getting the Overwatch beat out of them and is about to die, then it's not super efficient to use multiple orbs on a single ally. What you should be doing is spreading around. Spread the good word of our Lord Mantis to all your allies. Throw healing orbs on both your tanks, throw damage boost on your DPS, whoever's in the fight, get them all juiced up. And that is how she can carry the entire team, by dropping passive healing and damage boost to 2, 3, 4 different teammates simultaneously. But it's all about timing, because of course you don't have infinite orbs. And remember, speaking of that, you can gain extra orbs by landing critical hits with your primary attack. The number 1 ranked Mantis has a 75% win rate with her. That is bonkers, dude. Bonkers. Now moving forward, we have Cloak and Dagger. Now a big tip for Cloak and Dagger, I would say, is mixing her skills. For example, you can drop a healing bubble and then swap to Cloak and attack, so you're actively healing while dealing good damage. Or you can swap to Cloak, use your damage wall skill, and then swap back to Dagger and do your thing and heal. Also, Dagger is great on a diving team composition. Like if your allies are diving, spread out, and moving all around, Dagger is a great support because she can still heal them effectively, considering her healing orbs have crazy auto-targeting. Her ability can negate ultimates. Like, yo, people talk about using your ultimate to cancel other ultimates, but nah, bro, not even necessary. Cloak can use her shadow skill, and when your allies are inside, they aren't just invisible, they have no hitbox. They can't be damaged with explosions, like Iron Man's or Scarlet Witch's ultimate, and they can't be swallowed by Lil Jeffy's ultimate. That's insane considering it's just a normal skill. Now there's another support hero that has a skill which can negate ultimates as well. My handsome man Loki. Now, even though I don't believe Loki is necessarily a solo carry type hero, I'm still going to discuss him because I believe he can make a huge impact, and I got some juicy tips for him. Loki is a true support and synergizes with your team and the environment. Which map you're on matters significantly. Also, real quick, Loki can handle himself. Not only can he survive, but he actually thrives in 1v1s. Like, enemies think they can flank you? They think that they're the predator and you're the prey? No. Nah, you drop a couple clones down and you switch the scripts real quick.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
And then, once you activate the Circle of Life, it's over. They're donezo. However, the real reason he can be so impactful is because he's one of the best group healers, but only on certain maps. Capture the point modes on very tight maps that also offer you good angles. Like this map here, I have gone crazy on. Once you take point and you can set up position, you're golden. Place a clone up on the left, place a clone down on the right, and you triple bursting the entire battlefield. And with these clones, you can heal your tank while simultaneously dealing damage to the enemy tank that he's brawling with. Because again, Loki excels at group healing. Now of course, other support heroes can also heal and deal damage together, such as Luna Snow. But with her, they have to be all in a straight line in order to affect multiple individuals. But that's not the case with Loki, because Loki's blasts have a large AoE radius of 3 meters, so he can affect the entire objective area quite easily. Plus, Loki essentially has a get out of jail free card. If there's a huge fight on the objective point, you can drop well-placed clones, make your team invincible through the entire battlefield with your Circle of Life. Yeah, by the way, this skill I refer to as the Circle of Life. This skill is potentially as effective as an ultimate, yet it only has a 25-second cooldown, so you can pretty much use it in every fight. The stones can get destroyed, yes, but even if it only lasts a few seconds, that can still make a drastic difference and refill your ally's health bar up to full. This is the skill I was referring to before when I said Loki can nullify many ultimates. Like a great example is Psylocke's. She never targets the stones that create the circle, meaning standing in the circle totally renders her ultimate useless. There are many situations that this Circle of Life comes in super clutch. Like also during an emergency, you're caught in a moment where your ally is seconds away from dying, he's getting the Overwatch beat out of him, and a couple healing pew-pews just ain't gonna cut it. Well, you have another option. You can save that ally's life by dropping a clone right next to him and using your Circle of Life skill. And you can drop clones up to 30 meters away. So in the end, I believe Loki, on particular maps, can be game-changing. Moving forward to the Vanguards section. When you get into the more advanced stuff, you'll see how each character has pros and cons in certain game modes and on certain maps that you must play around. There are 3 different types of ways you should think about the game modes. The first one is pushing the cart, attacking and advancing forwards. Okay, number 2 is defense, stopping the cart, halting its movement. In this mode, you set up a position and the enemy comes to you, right? The enemy is forced to move towards you. That's a huge difference in strategy compared to if you are on offense and you are pushing forwards. And number 3, capture the point modes, which can be a mix of offense and defense centered around a single location. Now the first Vanguard I have is Groot. Now before I explain why Groot can backpack the team, you must hear these tips real quick first. Gaining the benefits of attacking an enemy near one of your walls is vital with Groot. Like, it is essential for making him valuable. So you don't always have to build your walls straight up. Like, you could get creative using the environment, such as this, for example. You can make ceilings. Groot can actually deal heavy burst damage if you integrate your wall attacks into your combos. As you can see here, little Jeffy got spanked because of this. Which brings me to my next tip. Groot has the ultimate combo. Groot can use his ultimate and then quickly build 1 or 2 walls near everyone that you just stuck together, and then attack them with a spore and your your primary attack. Now this will damage everyone, and the walls will get in the action as well, dealing a ton of burst damage. So basically all you're doing is building walls right next to where you used your ultimate and using the walls to deal extra damage. See, Groot is not always amazing, but there are two situations which he can thrive and indeed backpack the team. The first situation is on push the cart modes when you are on offense, which might sound weird, right? But think about it, when you block incoming and outgoing fire with Groot's walls, well, that's much better for you when pushing the cart forwards, because you want every foot you can get. If the fight has somewhat halted for a few seconds, well, the cart is still moving forward in that time. The enemy has to completely overtake the cart for it to stop. So Groot becomes extremely effective at pushing the cart forwards, using your walls to buy time and slowly advance. The second scenario is in capture the point modes in combination with a solid Jeff or Rocket ally. Jeff and Rocket gain damage reduction while sitting on Groot's shoulders, and I myself, plus have seen others many times, lock down an objective point with Groot and a Rocket combo. I think Rocket works so well because he can bounce his balls off of Groot's walls. Wow, Jesus Christ. Not only did that sound weird, but it rhymed too. And which map it is matters significantly. Like this map here is a great example of where this can work. Like bro, as Rocket, with this tight choke point, you can bounce balls all around like a champ, healing the whole team. Plus any tank that Groot is brawling with, Rocket can help by shredding him up. Some people prefer Jeff, and Jeff is better at healing. He can use his bubbles to heal both of you simultaneously, which also gives Groot a speed bonus, so that's very nice. However, Rocket is better at dealing extra damage. Remember, Rocket can deal up to 200 damage per second. Moving forward, of course, Doctor Strange is probably the best Vanguard, and I promise you, getting good with Doctor Strange will help you win games. But I am not going to discuss him very much, and I'll explain why later. Now, before I move on to the Duelist section, I want to real quick talk about teamwork. Now, when I say solo carry, I don't mean to play like a lone wolf, take all the responsibility onto yourself. No, that's not what this is about. Actually, as you see, much of this is describing how to effectively work with the team that you have, whatever random scrubber dubbers you are given. In general, you should play off your teammates. Like if I see a Namor or Iron Fist, then I'm going to choose Luna Snow to get a nice team up synergy going on, because she has team ups with both Namor and Iron Fist. So whatever you gotta do to make it work and give your team an advantage. So here's a general rule of thumb for Duelist. If you're already a few minutes into the game and your allies have 6, 7, 8 kills and you have like 2 with barely 2000 damage on the board, then do everyone a favor, including yourself, and just swap. There's nothing wrong with switching. Like sometimes certain characters just aren't working. I've had games where I'm stinking, I'm doo-doo, but halfway through the match, I swap heroes and boom, now I'm making moves, clutching up, really impacting the fight, and then we win. I feel like this problem is highlighted when there's 3 duelists. Like if there's 3 DPS, and it's quite obvious that one is severely lacking, then he should switch. If it's you, then do your civic duty and swap. If it's somebody else, then you can respectfully request in the chat for them to hop on a different hero that they're good with. If you see your team already has 3 duelists, don't fucking choose another DPS, okay? Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Alright, so for most games, the core, the lifeline, the heart of a team are the healers. I mean, you could drop tons of damage onto the enemy tanks. It don't matter how many headshots you land. If they still have 2 solid supports, juicing them up from behind, healing them, then those tanks are not going anywhere. And that's probably the #1 mistake for low-rank DPS heroes. Step 1, assassinate the healers. Then step 2 is to take out the tanks. Now with all that being said, I mostly want to talk about flankers or divers in this video. Non-diver DPS with a playstyle like Hela, Hawkeye, or even Punisher, more so attack from a vantage point. And yeah, if you're doinking headshots, excellent accuracy, smoking everyone, you can make a drastic difference on the game, of course. But with a diver, a flanker, I feel like it's much easier to have a more significant impact because divers excel at killing enemy support characters, and that is the true goal for winning games. If you are consistently eliminating the enemy healers, that team will be limping. First off, Psylocke. Apparently she's one of the best flankers. However, I don't main Psylocke, so I'm just gonna give y'all a quick but deadly combo my brother showed me. So the foundation of this combo is going back and forth from shuriken to primary. So essentially it's just going from primary, shuriken, primary, back and forth. But one thing though, you do want to throw your shuriken as soon in the fight as possible for a couple reasons. First, the shuriken gives you bonus armor, which is nice to begin a fight with. And secondly, and most importantly, the shuriken has an 8-second cooldown, but dealing damage reduces this timer. So you start with the shuriken, you gain your bonus health, and then any damage you deal following that will allow you to reduce the cooldown on it. So you'll have that shuriken available for a second usage quite quickly. And yeah, you want to integrate a dash into your combo as well. Not only because it seamlessly combos together with your attacks for extra burst damage, but also for its quick movement. It is very difficult for the enemy to track you and connect their attacks if you're dashing right through them. They will need to turn around and re-target you. Another piece of vital information is with her ultimate. The more enemies you have inside your circle, the more targets there are for your damage to be split up into. If you have 3 or 4 enemies within the circle, you're not actually dealing that much damage to each individual. So targeting 1 or 2 squishies with your ultimate is much more effective and is more likely to actually eliminate the enemy. A good example of excelling at a particular game mode would be Namor. Now of course he can be effective anywhere, but in capture the point modes, he can absolutely go bonkers because he's great at holding down a position, an objective choke point. And then in push modes, he's great while on defense because he can defend a street much more effectively compared to actually pushing the cart. His Squidbilly turrets are no joke. You set them up in the right position, get a nice vantage point over the battlefield, and you are good to go. Namor can truly carry the game while on defense. He is valuable for stopping the cart. Oh, and by the way, Luna Snow, Namor, and Iron Fist. Remember that trio. There's a beautiful synergy with their team-ups. Luna Snow gives Namor ice powers, and Iron Fist gives Luna Snow ninja powers, which are extremely powerful. Now, the reason I think this works so well is because Namor and Iron Fist are a great duo. Namor plays the point, poking the enemy, locking it down using his Squidbilly turrets, while Iron Fist plays the flanker, dives and assassinates enemy supports on the back lines. So it's an awesome duo, the roles are filled and it works. Then plus, with Luna Snow, now everyone is all juiced up, you got truly fantastic synergy going on. So Luna Snow, Namor, Iron Fist, boom. Your positioning is everything. You could have cat-like reflexes and the greatest accuracy, but if you're in the wrong position, you are doo-doo. Most of the time, you probably just run on instincts, right? Like gamer instincts to take you where you need to go and who to attack. But this is a huge mistake if you want to win. This is what takes you from a silver or gold player up to platinum or diamond or even further. Knowing what your role is and where to go. Like if you're a shooter DPS, take advantage of the high ground. Even if it takes you another 5 to 10 seconds to walk through an alley, up the stairs to get into a better position, it's totally worth it. Don't simply run behind your tank or off to the side every single time. Take the stairs, get an off angle. A benefit of this will be the enemy is forced to take their focus off of your tank and your main group. Like you want the enemies to have 2-3 different focus points. Get their lines of sight all jumbled up. If your entire team just sits together in one group in the middle of the street, then the enemy can focus in straight on all of you. But if you can force them to look up or look to the side and take their attention off the rest of your team, then you are doing a good job. So take the time to set up your position. One hero that positioning is crucial for is Moon Knight. Now, I don't think Moon Knight is really game breaking, but I do want to talk about him for a specific reason, because I feel like I see many players using him horribly wrong. So yeah, he's good, right? Moon Knight can be devastating and drop bombs worth of damage upon multiple enemies. But only if played correctly. That's the big if. If you know enough to take the high ground, play the angles. So, like this for example. This would be a fantastic position to use Moon Knight for attacking around corners. So placing the anchor somewhere the enemies can't obviously see it ahead of time, but once they wrap around the corner, you can smoke them. He's also great as simple crowd control, dealing damage on multiple enemies. Like, you can place the anchor dead smack in the middle of a group, and hey, even if they destroy it within seconds, you can still deal massive damage within 1, 2, or 3 seconds, if enough enemies are clumped together. By the way, with Moon Knight, you can use stationary targets such as Namor's Squidbilly turrets, and Loki's clones, like a makeshift anchor, and bounce your attacks off of them, so you'll be turning the enemy's tools against them. Noish. So, Moon Knight is especially effective on defense, because enemies will be forced to walk into your anchors. But if it's a very open map, where everyone is more spread out, then Moon Knight does not perform exceptionally well. A Hawkeye or Hela or Bucky could be 10 times more effective. Now, speaking of Bucky, I gotta say, Bucky is indeed a solo carry type hero, because he is very versatile. He's not really a flanker, yet you can still play him on or off the point. Like, Bucky is so awesome at impacting games because he is great at ruining the enemy's position. He's great crowd control, yoinking a tank from 15 meters away, can instantly get them panicking. Butthole clenching commenced. The hook has a max distance of 20 meters. 20 meters, dude. So being able to displace the enemy's tank, remove him 15-20 meters away from the rest of his team is villainous. Straight villainous. Very effective, man, and this allows him to make plays. So Bucky is a very versatile playmaker. Now, a quick tip, killing Loki's clones refreshes your ultimates. Yes sir, they count as a body. Now, as you can see, I did not talk much about the actual best heroes like Hawkeye, Hela, Luna Snow, and Doctor Strange, because I don't like flapping about information you certainly already know, and everyone's already aware that Hawkeye, Hela, Doctor Strange are pretty much the meta and most used in top ranks. Plus, I don't main those heroes, so I don't have any unique tips for them. So if you made it this far in the video, please body slam on the like button and comment below any thoughts or opinions you have. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Stay golden.